Hey, my name's Laura Potts, and this is Redeeming Grace Ministries, and we exist to train and equip women to live a life of everlasting recovery. Years ago, I worked in a rehab, and I saw women go through and get sober, and it was really difficult for them to transition back to what we would consider real life. And so about 3 years ago, we started Redeeming Grace with the sole intent of helping women rebuild their lives on solid foundation. Well, I founded the ministry. I worked in rehab for many, many years, and I've just always worked with women, and I've always been a how can we improve this kind of person. And so I would watch women complete the program and leave, and I would always think, well, if they had this, maybe they'd be able to remain sober and everything. And then about 3 or 4 years ago now, I think, multiple friends all relapsed within a very short amount of time, and my husband and I just decided that it was time for us to step up and try a different approach. And it's not a different approach to rehab, it's a step after rehab. So we're definitely transitional housing. They have the opportunities to be trained in a livable wage job, which livable wage in Chambers County is about $11 to $12 an hour. And we've partnered with an organization that's going to train them to where when they come out of this program, they will be able to make at least $15 to $20 an hour starting out. And then the positive, we also have they're going to be reconciling relationships with their families, and they are building a healthy support system. A lot of times when you're in prison or rehab, your support system is the people that you're there with. And when you get out, everybody's kind of on the same playing field, and one of our goals is to build a strong support system of people that have gone before them and are able to come back and mentor and say, this is how you do it and this is the way. So we've partnered with Circle of Care in Valley, Alabama. They have a lot of relationship programs. We also have professional counselors that the women are going to have access to counseling with. The Ascend program is our job training. And then we have a ton of community support.
Since November of 1996, the Circle of Care in Valley, Alabama has been providing resources for counseling individuals and helping families with support, healing, and growth. Redeeming Grace Ministries has partnered with Circle of Care to aid women in their personal recovery and the healing of broken or damaged relationships.
In different clubs like the Lions Club and things like that, Kiwanis, but also through the churches, the local churches. We have a tremendous amount of support through our local churches. Well, the most exciting thing is that our first resident will be moving in the next week or so. And we've been preparing for that. Of course, 2020 happened, and so we've been delayed. But we've had our vehicle has been provided for, and we're starting all of our programs. So that's the biggest thing. Just met a lot of great people. I think that's probably one of the best things. I think for the most part people are good and that they want to give, and it's just been really amazing, the people that I would have never known had it not been for this. I think we're I think we're laying a foundation and sowing seeds and teaching how to do. It's kind of like, I mean, I'm sure you've heard, you can give a man a fish or teach a man to fish. And so I think we're teaching women how to live, and that it's going to go forth, and that they're going to work on these skills and have these skills to grow and build on. And our goal is that it impacts generations, because it's going to change their lives and impact their children, and and then their families, our circles. What we do in our lives affects our circle, our friends and our families and our kids and everything. So I've heard a term recently called courageous patience. And I think that's it, because I want things to happen now, and I know how to do things, and I just want it to happen, but there's so many moving parts, and just being patient while everything comes together, and not giving up, and knowing that what we're doing is a good thing. And I mean, COVID, we could have said, oh, well, we're delayed, and it was 9 months that we were delayed getting our house. And then everything with all the delays with COVID supplies and everything, we had hoped to been accepting women in June, but it's just, so I think being patient and waiting to see it all come to fruition is probably the hardest thing. I think we think that this is just for the women that come here, but it's also for the community, and it's for people to see us do something hard. We live in a world where we have instant gratification and things are done instantly, and this has taken time, and we've persisted in making it happen. And I think that's been important, and I know people have been impacted by that, because they've said that to me, that just watching us stay with that and stay faithful to what God's called us to do has been important to other people as well. We're faith-based. It has to be somebody that has a strong faith and that loves people and is not judgmental of where hurting people have been. And I think the thing that, when I came into it, I thought it was a lot about choices, and it is about choices. But so many of the women that are in addiction are there because of a trauma in their past, and it could go all the way back to their childhood. It could have been something that happened when they were teenagers. And so I think once you view it from, there's an unhealed place in these people and the women, that's what they need, just the compassion to help them find healing, that would be the most important thing. So I think the biggest thing I'd want people to know is I want them to think about, it really kind of goes back to the women that there's been a trauma in their life. And so when you think about these little girls that the trauma's happening to, that fills you with compassion, it fills you with anger, it fills you with wanting to make a change. And that's who we're working with. They're just a little bit older. And people, their lives can heal, and they can turn their lives around. And so that is what's so important, is that there's never a lost cause. One of the churches that's involved, he said it best when he said we're part of the resurrection chapter. And I have just loved that, because they're coming to life out of this old life that's dead to them now, and they're coming back to life.
According to the Alabama Department of Corrections, 31% of men and 21% of women return to custody within 3 years of their initial release. There's only so much that can be done through the legal system to help individuals. So, Redeeming Grace Ministries helps to fill that gap and prevent recidivism. Many of those incarcerated in Alabama are serving time for drug charges. In Alabama, possession of a controlled substance such as heroin, meth, and cocaine, and prescription meds constitutes a Class C felony, which carries a charge of 1 to 10 years in jail and a fine up to $15,000. Organizations like Redeeming Grace Ministries tackled this issue head-on and focus on helping women recover. The adjustments to real life is hard for many who have struggled with addiction, and Redeeming Grace aids these women in the healing process.